Sri Gurubhyo Namaga children. I am happy to welcome you all for our online teaching academy Ekalaiva. For the class 12, subject Biobotany, chapter 4, Principles and Process of Biotechnology. Children, today we are going to discuss about virus resistance. You know very well, virus is a microorganism. It is very tiny when compared with bacteria. It is too small. Viruses are too small when compared with bacteria. So, it is very dangerous microorganisms. Many plants, animals, human beings are affected by virus. Virus have the ability to cause diseases in plants, animals as well as the human beings. Okay. So, in plants, many plants are affected by virus. Then virus it attacks and results in the series of loss in their yield, and finally it leads to the death of the plant. Okay. If any virus attack the plant, so finally it leads to the death. Biotechnological intervention, that means some action, biotechnological experiment or biotechnological actions has to be taken for virus resistance. Okay. Biotechnological intervention is used to introduce viral resistance, that is virus resistance into the host plant, so that they can resist, they can survive. Okay. They can resist the attack by virus. Once again I am repeating, biotechnological intervention is used to introduce viral resistant gene into the host plant, so that the host plant can survive, they can resist against the virus attack. This is by introducing genes that produce resistant enzymes which can deactivate the viral DNA. So, the enzyme which is deactivate the viral DNA, so that the plant is resistant against viral infection or virus disease. Okay. The next we will see the Flav Sav tomato. Children, everyone knows about tomato. It is a berry. It is dark red in color, right? Agrobacterium mediated genetic engineering. Agrobacterium is a soil bacteria. It is also acts as a vector in the genetic engineering or gene cloning process. Okay. So, agrobacterium mediated genetic engineering technique was followed to produce Flav Sav tomato. See the picture here, children. This is the two different varieties of tomato. One is Flav Sav tomato, another one is traditional tomato. After a period, after 1 week, the normal traditional tomato became, what will happen? They became juicy. Okay, the color changes, the normal color changes into a dull color. But in case of Flav Sav tomato, after 10 days also the color of the tomato will not change, they became fresh, no color change, it still remains juicy. Okay. Through genetic engineering, the ripening process of the tomato is slowed down by the Flav Sav tomato. Okay. So, through genetic engineering or gene cloning method, the ripening process of the tomato has to be slowed down and thus prevent it from softening and to increase the shelf life period. So, normal traditional tomato they have their shelf life period of about only 3 days, but in case of Flav Save tomato the shelf life period it extends up to 10 days. Even 10 days also the color will not change, they became juicy. Okay. Flav Save tomato is also contains the natural color of the tomato, that is dark red in color. One more question. Okay. So, with the help of agrobacterium mediated genetic engineering we can produce the Flav Save tomato. See here, the tomato was made more resistant to rotting. Rotting means damage. So, we can resist rotting by agrobacterium mediated genetic engineering or agrobacterium mediated gene transfer mechanism of introducing an antisense gene. This antisense gene enters into the normal tomato. See here, this is a normal tomato, it is dark red in color. They have a normal mRNA, thus it is sense, and this is the enzyme PG, polygalacturonidase enzyme, and then the normal rotting of tomato due to this enzyme. Okay. Rotting means damage, it lost its shelf life, it became so juicy. Okay. And then see here, this is a transgenic tomato, this is a then here they have sense mRNA and antisense mRNA, and with the help of this enzyme the antisense gene blocks this enzyme function. If there is no enzyme at all means there is no formation of rotting. So, the shelf life period is it extends up to more than 10 days. Okay. See here, the tomato was made more resistant to rotting by introducing the agrobacterium mediated gene transfer of introducing an antisense gene. This gene is very important. This antisense gene is very essential, important for agrobacterium mediated gene transfer. With the help of this gene transfer method, the antisense genes is inserted into the normal tomato, which interface with the production of the enzyme polygalacturonidase. This antisense gene interface, it blocks the enzyme function. So, this antisense gene blocks the enzyme function, which help in delaying. So, which helps in delaying the ripening process. So, this particular enzyme is necessary for ripening of tomato. So, this antisense gene interferes the function of the enzyme polygalacturonidase, which helps in delaying the ripening process of tomato during long storage and transportation. The next one is golden rice biofortification. Golden rice is a variety of Oryza sativa rice. The binomial name of rice is Oryza sativa, produced through genetic engineering method, genetic engineering of biosynthesized beta carotene. A precursor, this beta carotene is a precursor of vitamin A in the edible part of the rice, developed by very important Ingopotricus antis groups. Okay. See the difference between two different rice. This is a normal white rice, this is a yellow golden rice. This is made by genetic engineering method. It is produced by gene cloning or genetic engineering method. Okay. This is normal Oryza sativa rice. The main aim to produce the fortified food, that is golden rice, to grown and consumed in areas with shortage of dietary vitamin A. So in some area there is no proper nutrition is there. So we have add-on nutrition, that is called fortified. Fortified food means we add some extra nutrients. So fortified food means from the food just we had some extra nutrients. The main aim is to produce the fortified food to grown and consumed in areas with the shortage of dietary vitamin A, which kills so many children under the age of 5 years. So below 5 years most of the children are died due to the deficiency of vitamin A. So for that reason we have to prepare, we have to produce the fortified food. Fortified food is nothing but the add-on nutrients. That food contains add-on nutrients. Okay. So the golden rice differs from the parental strain by the addition of 3 beta carotene biosynthesis genes. So in golden rice they have 3 addition beta carotene genes, namely the first one, PSY gene. This gene is extracted or taken from the daffodil plant. What is the name of the plant? Narcissus pseudonarcissus. Second one, CRT1 gene from the soil bacterium Erwinia aerodorata. And third one, LYC gene. This LYC gene from the wild type rice endosperm. Wild type means just taken from the different area. Okay. So these are the 3 different genes. The endosperm of normal rice does not contain beta carotene. In normal rice there is no beta carotene at all. In golden rice we have to add that. So in golden rice has been genetically modified, genetically altered, so that the endosperm now accumulates so much of beta carotene. This has been done using rDNA technology, that is recombinant DNA technology method, and golden rice can control childhood blindness, that is xerophthalmia. Okay. So this beta carotene has the ability to control the xerophthalmia disease, eye defect. Okay. Childhood blindness. Then benefits: high yield without pest, and then 70% reduction of pesticide usage, reduce soil pollution problem, and then conserve microbial pollution in soil. These are all the benefits of genetically modified food. Okay. That is a golden rice. It has a high yield without pest. We should not use any pest. Without pest it can able to yield, it gives more production. 70% reduction of pesticide usage, no usage of pesticides, and then reduce soil pollution, and then conserve microbial population. There will be also have some risk effect. A risk to be believed. What are the risk means? Affect liver, kidney function and cancer. So it affects the liver function, kidney function, and finally it leads to the cancer. And then hormonal imbalance, the hormones, the change in their hormones level. So hormonal imbalance and physical disorder, and then loss of viability of seeds show in the terminator seeds technology of GM crops. So loss of viability of seeds also sometimes it takes place. These are all the important risk factor of using the golden rice. The next one is bioremediation. It is also a very important topic, often asking in examination. Bioremediation. Bio means living organisms with the help of microorganisms or plants, with the use of, or with the use of microorganisms, plants or anything to clean up the environment. Okay, so definition for that bioremediation. So it is defined as the use of microorganisms or plants. It is very, very important. Bio, wherever you hear the word bio means it is a living organism. So use of the living organism, use of the microbes, use of the microorganisms or plants to clean up the environment, that is called bioremediation. Can you understand this, children? Yes. It is an approach, it is a method, approach used to treat wastes including water, wastewater, industrial waste and solid waste. So bioremediation is nothing but cleaning process, cleaning the environment. So cleaning the environmental pollutions. What are all the environmental pollutions you know? Industrial waste, solid waste, sewage waste, etc. No? So we have to clean the environmental pollution. For that reason we go for bioremediation, right? So bioremediation process is applied to the removal of oil in the sea or some other places, removal of oil, petrochemical residues, removal of petrochemical residues, removal of pesticides or heavy metals from soil or groundwater. Okay. In many cases, bioremediation is less expensive, very, very important. It is very less expensive and more sustainable than other physical and chemical methods of remediations. So when we go for bioremediation means it is less expensive and it is more sustainable than any other physical or chemical method of remediation. Clear, children? Bioremediation process is cheaper, as I said earlier. It is very cheaper and eco-friendly. It will not create any pollution to the environment. It is eco-friendly approach and can deal with lower concentrations of contaminants more effectively. Then the strategies for bioremediation in soil and water can be followed. First one, use of indigenous microbial population as indicator of specific bioremediation process. Bioremediation with the addition of adapted or designed microbial inoculants. Third one, use of plants for bioremediation, that is green technology. These are all the different strategies for bioremediation in soil and water. Okay. Some of the examples of bioremediations but technology are, the first one is phytoremediation. Phytoremediation. The word wherever you heard phyto means use of plants to clean the environment. In the definition I said bioremediation means it is defined as the use of microorganisms, use of microbes or plants. Okay. So phytoremediation is nothing but use of plants to bring about the remediation of environmental pollution. Remediation is nothing but cleaning, to clean the environmental pollution. Okay. So the second one is different examples we are seeing. Second one is mycoremediation. Myco is nothing but fungi, by using of fungi. So by use of fungi, So use of fungi to bring about the remediation of environmental pollution. Third one is bioventing. It is somewhat new for you children. Bioventing. It is a process that increases the oxygen or air flow to accelerate the degradation of environmental pollution. Degradation of environmental pollution is nothing but removal of the pollution. So bioventing is a process that increases the oxygen or air flow to accelerate the degradation of environmental pollution. The fourth one is bioleaching. Bioleaching is nothing but use of microorganisms, using of microbes in solution form to recover the metal pollutants from contaminated sites. So, bioleaching is a process of using of microorganism in liquid in solution form to recover the metal pollutants from the contaminated sites, that is called bioleaching. Sometimes these are all asking in 2 mark question, what is bio venting, what is bioleaching, like that. Okay. So, please listen very carefully. The next one is bioaugmentation. Bioaugmentation is the addition of selected microbes. Just we add selected microbes, addition of selected microbes to the speed up the degradation process by adding selected microbes to speed up the reactions, that is called bioaugmentation. The next one is you are all familiar with composting, right? Vermicomposting and all you already studied in the 11th standard. So, composting means it is a process by which the solid waste is composted by use of microbes into manure, which acts as a nutrient for plant growth, that is called composting. The next one is rhizofiltration. Rhizofiltration is the uptake of metals or degradation of organic compounds by rhizosphere microorganism. The last one is rhizostimulation. Rhizostimulation is the stimulation of plant growth, just stimulation of plant growth by the rhizosphere by providing better growth condition or reduction in the toxic materials. So, these are all the some of the examples of bioremediation. Sometimes it is asking in 2 mark question, please make a note on it. Okay. Thank you children, we will see in the next class.